Everybody be seated. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Kelly. Last night I was at Green Hall in Green, Texas. And it was something my wife and my kids had planned to do a long time ago. Reckless Kelly's on their last tour. They're going through. It was a great show, by the way. Go see them before they stop touring. And a couple things, observations. There was a guy who was walking around through the dance hall, and his shirt said, liberate freedom. Or legalize freedom, right? In America, we're talking about legalizing freedom and a shirt saying we need to legalize freedom again. And that's what we're talking about. And there was a young man who was dancing on the dance floor who had Down syndrome. And his family were rejoicing around this young man. And they were celebrating. And I was sitting there thinking, thank God that family chose life. And thank God Texas stands for life. But life is more than just that issue. Life is about every life that we're trying to protect here in South Texas from the lawlessness that is destroying our homes and our communities. Life is about the angel moms in this room who have lost loved ones from those here illegally that have taken our loved ones. Life is about the migrants who have died along our own rivers and on our own ranches because we've got a system that is indefensible and is causing ranchers in this room that I've talked to find bodies on their ranches, or 53 human beings that were cooked in a tractor trailer in San Antonio last summer. All of this on the watch of an administration that doesn't care. The fact is, I know no one in this room believes as Christians and as people of faith that that's how we should treat our fellow human beings. I know most of you in this room. I know most of you want to see an end to this because you care. You care about the migrants. You care about the Texans. You care about your communities. You care about the children that we're losing from fentanyl, the 72,000 last year alone, the 5 or 6 that we've lost in our own school district where my wife and I live in Hays County in the last 9 months from fentanyl poisonings. You all know all this. I don't have to tell you. You live it. And that's why you're here. And I'm just going to say this because I want to turn the stage over to the guy that we're here for. But we're actually, as I said before, we're here for something bigger. We're here because Governor DeSantis stands as someone willing to fight for you. None of you want to continue this lawlessness that we're seeing. And you want someone who will stand up and defend us. And that man, in my opinion, is Governor Ron DeSantis. And I'm just going to give you a quick note as to why before I pull the governor up on the stage. Governor DeSantis has proven that he's willing to stand up and fight. In the state of Florida, they just passed strong border legislation. They just passed legislation to ensure that we'll have E-Verify implemented in Florida. They just passed legislation to crack down on human trafficking in Florida. They just passed legislation to make sure you can't use driver's licenses and other documents in Florida if you're here illegally. The governor has sent National Guardsmen to Texas to protect us and help us. He has sent Florida troopers to Texas to protect us and help us. The governor is standing up and fighting for us in Texas. And he's doing it now in real time. The governor won by 1.5 million votes last time. The governor won 62% of Hispanic voters after sending a message to America that they were going to send folks to Martha's Vineyard, send folks to Sacramento, wake them up, and he wins 62% of Hispanic voters because I know the Hispanic voters that I know in Texas, they're tired of being a bumper sticker for a party that doesn't care about them, and they want people who are going to stand up and lead. I know Governor DeSantis. I've known him for a decade. He was a founder of the Freedom Caucus. He's been leading the state of Florida. He's got a wonderful wife, Casey, 3 wonderful children. He's been demonstrating that you can win a coalition, that you can build that coalition, that by winning by 1.5 million votes, that's the kind of guy that we need to take this country back by storm, serve for 8 years, and energetically restore America and bring the great American comeback. I want to introduce my friend, the governor of the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis.